Let's do Rick from Canada. Rick, you are live on the Atheist Experience. What's up?
Hey, gentlemen. How you doing?
Doing good. We got a lot of calls now. We started very open lines, and now we got a lot of people. So what's happening, Rick?
Yeah, no, I think the Bible is 100% accurate scientifically. But first, I wanted to say at the start of the show, you guys were talking about prayer over medical advice.
Yeah.
In Matthew 9:12, Jesus says, "Those who are well do not need a physician, but those who are sick do."
No, that's wrong.
Jesus
People
advocate.
No. You absolutely, if you're well, should go and get your checkups, because they can head stuff off at the pass. People without symptoms should still see their doctors, because you don't know you have cancer until symptoms come. So that is complete bullshit.
You're jumping the point, right? Because you're backtracking now. You're talking about something that's completely irrelevant. Yes, you should get checkups. That's not what he's referring to. My point is that Jesus did, in fact, advocate that people should see doctors, not seek prayer over medical advice. That's why he says...
Well, then why did he say you could pray for anything and it could happen?
Well, if you read the whole verse and not just take that out, Jesus gives a very specific criteria. He says, "Those who believe in me keep my sayings."
Okay.
Those who love
So the people who believe in Jesus can heal people, right?
He was also talking specifically to the disciples. It's the disciples.
So there was a group of people in time who had magic healing powers because they believed in Jesus.
Well, the disciples, yes. The disciples, Jesus says, go into the world.
So the disciples had magic powers, but every other Christian who's ever claimed to do miracles is a liar.
I'm not saying that they're a liar, but Jesus says if you have the faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. So it depends on one. 144,000, according to Revelations, has that kind of faith.
Oh, okay. So there are people who can pray and heal things. So in other words, you are wrong, and people do pray and heal people, right?
About 144,000.
Only 144,000.
Jesus' criteria.
Only 144,000. I remember when Jesus said, "Yeah, only 144,000 people have my powers to heal people." That's what he said. And oh no, wait a minute, that's in the book of Revelation, which is from John of Patmos, which doesn't have anything to do with that verse.
I'd pull it back a little bit.
There was a vision from Jesus, right? Wasn't Revelations a vision from Jesus?
Allegedly. We've talked to people who have visions of Jesus like every week, man. Why does John of Patmos get to have a special pass?
Because those people didn't know Jesus. They weren't chosen. The disciples sit on the 12 thrones beside him. They're exalted above the rest of us.
Okay, so the disciples are magic beings who have the power to heal.
Human beings.
Well, no, they're magic, right? They have supernatural powers. Do they not?
Yes. According to Jesus, he gave them supernatural powers.
So they have supernatural, aka magic, right? And they can heal people. And unless and even though you can have faith of the mustard seed, and even though you can pray, anybody else that has ever done that and said that they've healed people, they're lying, right? Because they're not part of the 144,000.
Or at least we're mistaken.
Well, I just want to put this on the record.
44. So we don't know if they're part of the 144,000 first.
Oh, isn't that convenient? We should get an ID system.
What do you mean isn't that convenient?
Because anybody can say they are or aren't. If it didn't work well, they're not part of the 144,000. That's why. David Koresh, that guy, wasn't part of the 144,000. He wasn't real. That wasn't it. But Bill down the street, I saw him, dude. He got his cancer healed.
I suppose
that's part of the 144,000.
The only rational explanation then is that there are 144,000 people in the world who believe in Jesus and therefore can invoke healing power or invoke God to heal people, and none of them have done it yet, or they just don't know that they have this power.
How do you know that? You're making a claim that you have absolutely no evidence.
Wait, you're the one saying there's 144,000
people. Through history, the people have, in fact, billions of people through history have claimed to have been healed. So for you to...
but you're saying they're liars because only 144,000 can do it.
And every time it's been actually empirically tested, it's been found to be bunk.
I'm not calling them liars. What I'm pointing out, I'm saying whether they were healed because they believed or whether they weren't is irrelevant. What I'm saying is that you are claiming there is no evidence that they were healed, and you cannot back that claim up.
No. This whole thing started because we said you can pray to Jesus and you can be healed. And you said, actually, that's not how it works. Only a select group of people can do that. Right? So if only a select group of people can do that, either the healings that occur allegedly every single Sunday in this country are completely bunk, or people can actually heal. I mean, like that's pretty much the only two options here.
Well, you were a Christian, so you know that Jesus gives a criteria about don't stand in the streets, right? They prefer the praises of men. I've been to Pentecostal churches. I don't speak in tongues. Paul actually really against that type of thing. So there's people that do it to be seen of men. So it's just like if you go to a hypnotist show and you play along, right? A lot of people think you're a hypnotist. That doesn't mean that those people are being real. Some of them are liars. Some of them believe it. Some of them are real.
That's all of that.
Differentiate.
Okay, so the difference here, but the difference here, Rick, is that I just believe that's all of Christianity. You think that's some of Christianity. You think those Christians are the fake ones. I just think it's all like that. I think it's all, some people are real hardened believers. Some of them are shysters, and everything else is a spectrum in between. I just think that's it, right?
Yeah, but see, but that's the thing is I call myself a Christian, but I am nowhere near meeting the criteria that Jesus gives, and I can admit that. I can acknowledge that.
Faith of a mustard seed.
Acknowledge.
That's all you need. Faith of a mustard seed.
I don't even have it. I'm Peter, man. I'm sinking. You know what I'm saying? I don't even have that.
Okay, Rick, just a second. Slow down just a second, guy. I want to put forward a scenario. It is anecdotal, but when my grandmother and my grandfather, who were devout Catholics, sat me down in the quiet of their own living room and anointed my eyes with holy water and prayed for them to be healed, should they have done that, or should they not have bothered? Because it didn't work.
I mean, I think that personally, I think their intentions were the best for you. I don't think there's any maliciousness in trying.
There was no malice, but it didn't work. So, what am I to think?
How do you know it didn't work?
Because I'm still
He's
fucking
still
blind.
Fucking blind, my man. What do you mean? How do you know it didn't work? Do you see the screen over here?
I can literally show you photos of my retinas. They are fucked.
No, I'm sorry. I thought you meant for your faith. I didn't.
No, my eyes.
It doesn't mean blindness in his faith. He's called Jamie the Blind Limey. He's blind.
So that is one example, but they believed. I have to believe they believed. I don't know their minds, but basically you're saying that my sainted grandmother and grandfather, who were both very devout and very religious all the way up to the time that they died, were just not one of the 144,000. They just weren't chosen.
I mean, I don't think I'm chosen, so there's no ignorance.
How do we tell? Is there a criteria? Is there a test we can do? Because that's what I'm interested in. Can we test it? If we can find these 144,000 wonderful people, there are lots and lots of people who are sick that could really use the help.
Absolutely. But see, the whole point of life, right? You can't learn without suffering. You can't overcome suffering without suffering, right?
Okay, then why did Jesus heal people then?
Yeah, why intercede at all if suffering's going to teach you something?
Right?
What? Sorry, say again?
Jesus' life of healing and resurrection was the proof to back up his message. His message was what was important.
No. Jesus shouldn't heal people because life is about suffering. You just said that, right?
You can't tell me that suffering.
So...
Yes, but Jesus came to give hope and give us guidance.
Okay, but
and he used
so why can't other people be healed? I don't get it. What is it wrong for Jesus to heal people or not?
No, it's not wrong for anybody to heal people. You guys are the ones that said that the grandparents.
Well, then why are more people being healed? Why?
To do that.
What's the difference here? I don't understand.
I mean, if people are keeping, if the gentleman's your grandparents were keeping him from going to the hospital.
No, they didn't do that. But they honestly thought that they were going to help my eyes recover. They thought that they could have them healed. My eyes can't be healed, not through any means that we know of right now. But they thought they could. And they believed it. And they prayed. And it didn't work. And this story is repeated ad infinitum around the world, around the country. And I talk to people on the daily who are praying to get better from their cancers and things like that. And I silently weep for them because I've never seen any evidence of it happening. And you're saying that it can, but you can't produce any evidence of it happening other than writings in a 2,000-year-old unsubstantiated book.
But that's not true, because there's lots of documented cases, and you guys would just say it was coincidence, but there's lots of documented cases where cancers disappear, where things the doctors can't explain happen, and you guys will just chop it up to...
Yes, the human immune system's a wonderful thing. It can do amazing shit.
Guess what? Jamie's not going to wake up tomorrow and have his eyes suddenly healed. Isn't it interesting that cancer can go into remission, but Jamie's condition can't? Why is that? Why doesn't blindness go into remission? Because we have an understanding of how biology works, right? And even though there's a lot we don't understand about cancer, we know it sometimes goes into remission, and that's why it's a coincidence. We've never seen somebody who has blindness and suddenly can just see. That's just not a thing.
Unless it's some kind of neurological thing which we understand.
Right.
They took a brain damage or something like that.
Yeah.
But my brain's fine. It's the eyes themselves that are screwed, and you can't heal that.
So you're saying that there's never been anybody in history, even documented, that was blind and one day woke up and could see. You're saying that's never happened? Is that
not without a actual physical explanation. And if they said that they did, I mean, there's always people that lie. I mean, it'd have to be tested. Anecdotal evidence isn't evidence.
But they don't just wake up one day and say, "Oh, suddenly I have perfect 20/20 vision."
Yeah.
Because they're just better after something like what Jamie has. I'm not talking about like temporary illnesses that can cause blindness, right? Things that can be symptomatic of other causes. That's obviously different. I'm talking about the structural damage that Jamie has in his eyes, right? That doesn't just magically heal itself.
The damage to my eyes is as permanent and irreversible as someone who's had their hand cut off. You can't regrow a hand. I can't regrow my retinas.
Okay.
And no amount of prayer is going to regrow that hand or regrow my retinas. And if you can prove otherwise, please do.
Yes,
I'd like
please
to
do,
see.
Rick.
But through history, that's what I'm saying, is people have claimed this. So you can't...
They've claimed it. It's just a claim. It's an anecdote. No testing, no evidence. And
it's your claim that you can never be healed, when we have seen people wake up the next day and they were healed.
Rick, are you gonna find somebody to heal Jamie?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna change that?
All of the optometrists?
How are we gonna test this, Jamie?
Yeah.
What are we gonna do?
Well,
Sorry, Jamie. I said Rick.
But
how are we going to test this, Rick? What are we going to do?
And there's plenty of evidence. Every optometrist I've ever been to, the understandings we have about how biology works and how cells heal and how scar tissue happens and more and more and more. Maybe one day, medicine, actual science will be able to heal my condition. But religion has never ever done anything of that nature that provably. It's always been anecdote. It's always been a story. Someone said, I saw it. I was there. I saw them healed. But did you prove it? Can you prove it? Was it a lie? Was it a sham? Often it is. And so unless you can, in controlled, properly monitored medical environs, show me the power of prayer to heal, I'm not going to believe it.
So there, I'll get to that. There were people in Jesus' time that were
stories.
Lots of people.
Those are stories.
And there was one woman that, but that's the thing, is that's what you're saying is stories as well. You're claiming that this has...
No, I'm citing medical research, evidence, like continuing evidence. Like this, I'm not just reading out of a 2,000-year-old book. I'm citing actual science.
Not. So you keep going to a 2,000-year-old book, but I'm trying to explain to you that we have lots of occurrences where things miraculously change.
You have lots of stories, uncorroborated, unprovable stories.
That's what you're saying, but they are provable. These people can see, and they were blind. They had tumors, and they didn't. These are provable facts. How it happened isn't, but some say they...
And that's the point. How it happened is the important bit. Someone spontaneously regaining sight, and but
again, tumors, right? Cancer goes into remission. We've already talked about this. Cancer as a specific phenomenon. There are things about it that we do know, and sometimes what we do know is that it goes into remission. We don't know exactly how it happens. That's true, but we have identified it as a consistent phenomenon. Why that's never going to happen to Jamie is because Jamie doesn't have a tumor. Jamie has retinal damage. Do you understand the difference? Like it's not just a cancer that could go away. The shape of his eyes literally has to be different in a way that's not going to naturally occur.
Parts of my eyes grew as scar tissue in the womb. There are parts that were never there. And no amount, unless they pioneer some kind of stem cell research that allows them to grow new eyes and attach them to the optical nerve, which they are looking into, promising work. But never has a prayer done it. Never has a spirit healer done it. And I've never seen any provable notion that it's ever been done. Only ever stories, only ever anecdotes, and usually from biased sources. You know, of course, a priest is going to say that it's a miracle. It's in his best interest.
Yeah. So I like the woman with the blood disorder, she had to seek Jesus out. She ran up through the crowd and slipped her way through and touched him. You don't have the faith to do it. So no offense to you, but you're seeking something you don't care to try. You're seeking something you
I have tried.
No.
I've tried. I've been to a spiritual healer.
Rick, you don't fucking know Jamie. Yeah. What? You don't even know his fucking last name. What the fuck do you think you know about his life and his intentions, Rick?
Yeah.
No, fuck you, Rick.
Bit presumptuous, dude.
Yeah, fuck you. Hey, listen, guess what? People get healed and don't believe in Jesus anyway, right? Like, that also fucking happens. So it sounds like it's fucking random. It's not like cancer remissions don't happen to non-Christians as well.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Rick. You believe in this shit so much, get someone to pray for Jamie and heal his shit. Prove yourself. Otherwise, you're just talking stories.
Yep.
Right? That's it. And all you will ever believe in is stories. End of day. Period. Unless you have something to show for it, which I know you don't. So I'm letting you go.
Spicy.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Fuck that guy. When you start saying you never honestly sought out.
Yeah, you didn't believe.
You didn't really believe. That's all they have to go back on because they have nothing else to show for themselves.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. Does he have a video of him praying for somebody and having somebody healed? Absolutely not. He has stories. And he will always have stories. That's it.
Anecdotes. Oh, well. Nice try, Rick.
Nice try, Rick. But, try again. No, don't actually try again. But seriously, go pray and go find some people who are apparently good at this healing thing, the 144,000 that you're talking about. And yeah, maybe then we'll talk. But until we do, we just have stories.